It's taking long. Everyone must be going live right now. Oh, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, what in the fuck just happened? Hey, what in the fuck? Oh, okay, welcome to our UFC 226 post-fight show. I'm Eddie Law. That's Mr. Ash Lamprey. Goddamn, dude. I mean, I want to talk about like most of the card, but now I want to talk about is what the fuck just happened in the main event. So, if you guys missed it, Daniel Cormier knocks the fuck out of Stipe with a clinch right hand that didn't look like it had much power on it. But if you saw the shot even in slow motion, like Stipe's lights went out. Stipe hits the ground already done and just eats like 3 shots for fun. And it was just like crazy. After that, and you knew it, right? The second they put the camera on Brock Lesnar walking into the building, sitting in the cage side, you knew something to do with him, right? Yeah. And then Cormier grabs the fucking microphone and tells him to get his ass in here. And then psycho shit. That was wild. That was some wild WWE shit right there.
Oh, Christ. Like, the thing is, though, is at first, a part of me wonders if this was plan B, because after seeing that shit show of Ngannou and Lewis...
Oh, my God, that was awful.
A part of me kind of wonders if Brock Lesnar went, no, fuck this bullshit. I'm not doing this bullshit. I'm not even getting involved. Give me the main event. Because it looked like maybe he was going to fight one of them two. Because why would they show him on TV rather than not save the surprise? That was the first thing that I thought when I saw him, when they showed him straight after the Ngannou fight.
First of all, the Ngannou Derek Lewis fight was complete. It was just dog shit. At first, I thought, okay, Ngannou's waiting until the second round to turn it on, whatever. Okay, he's waiting to the third round. I even gave him, he's waiting to the last 50 seconds, 40 seconds, just to get some kind of highlight, real knockout, and nothing. Like, nothing. So, Brock Lesnar gets in the cage after Daniel Cormier calls him out and goes, Ngannou's a piece of shit. Stipe's a piece of shit. Daniel Cormier, I'm coming for you. That's after he shoves Daniel Cormier, who, by the way, went flying like 10 feet. Dude, that was so wild. Like, I feel like I just watched WrestleMania. I shit you not. That's what I feel like I just watched.
It was some craziness, and like a part of me does kind of. I enjoyed it in the context, but a part of me wished that this was. I feel really bad for Stipe.
Yeah,
I feel really bad for Stipe. I think that it's kind of bullshit. Is this fight? I'm going to put a downer on this, and you know what's the worst thing? Like I've been a very negative DC kind of. I don't want to say like a hater, because I've always kind of thought that he was the best guy at light heavyweight outside of John Jones. I feel that like he has the right to consider himself one of the greatest of all time. It's always been an asterisk next to him though, because of obviously we've seen him lose to one guy. But I was kind of rooting for DC because I felt that if he'd have lost this fight, it'd have really ruined his legacy. I feel that like this was his chance to do something that John Jones hasn't done. This is something where he could go, well, hey, I've become a 2-time champion at the same time, simultaneously. This is me. This is my legacy, and nobody can take that away from me, which is cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel sorry for Stipe because I felt that there was 2 eye pokes, and they were cuts, and you can tell that it affected Stipe because before those, Stipe was lighting DC up.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It was tough to see Stipe lose that way. You know what I mean? Like it was because I'm with you. I think and I was saying this to one of my buddies that I was talking to during the fight on a messenger. I could, he was telling me like, who you got winning? I'm like, look, if DC's gonna win, it's got to be in the clinch. He's got to get close. He's got to land uppercuts. He's got to land all that shit, right? If he stays at distance, Stipe is gonna box his fucking face off. And when it was at distance, Stipe was boxing his fucking face off. And then he got close. Yeah. And then DC was doing this shit with his fingers wide open and shit. That finger went like in his eyeball and out. It was like, dude, what the fuck? So then, dude, it was a bad one, man.
The jab one was the worst one because if you watch his hands, he jabs and then I'm trying to aim for the camera here, right? So when he jabs, he opens his hand and the fingers go across his eyes.
Yeah,
and you can see it just goes from there to across the eye, and it's like, you know what, like Izzy, if for anybody who is on Twitter, like knows Izzy, but like he's like the biggest troll, but he hit the nail square on the head. Sometimes, you imitate and he imitated John Jones. The amount of shit that John Jones has got over the years for like the eye pokes and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
DC just become a 2-time simultaneous weight champion.
Yeah.
Via eye pokes. Like he legit. And the worst thing about it, I'm gonna go fucking all out. I don't really care.
Right.
I've been up for 24 hours now, my guy. It's like 6 fucking morning in the UK. The way that they're parading DC as if he just overcame this insurmountable odds and stuff like that. He just basically eye poked the shit out of Stipe's fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
And then, granted, he finished him in the clinch. But you've got to think, how much damage did that do? Because the cuts on his eyes were from jabs. Yeah, the jabs where he opened his hands up and stuck his fingers in his eyeballs.
Yeah, it was bad, man. But
he's ruined Stipe's, heavyweight reign. Like,
and I want to know what Stipe is gonna say after that. I wonder if he talks about that at all. You know what I mean?
I'd be salty as fuck if I was Stipe in the corner watching this bullshit with Brock Lesnar, knowing that could have been my payday.
That's a good point. The payday is gonna be huge for DC. Just became pretty. If he makes it to that fight without getting injured, DC just became a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, that's Madison Square Garden allegedly.
Right, that's the word. It's Madison Square Garden. So real quick on the YouTube comments, Joy Tremendous, UC, what up, man? Mikey T, UC says gutter for Stipe. MMA, ladies and gentlemen, not my goat.
I'm with him. I'm with him.
Hashtag not my goat. Look, I had DC win. I picked DC to win too. I didn't think it was gonna happen like that. I thought he was gonna wrestle fuck him for 5 rounds and maybe beat him up at the ground, maybe even submit him, right? But that was just fucking nutty. The whole thing was nutty. So anyway, god damn, I can't believe we just saw that for real.
I just feel good for Stipe because I feel like Stipe's not a bad guy. That's why I feel salty for him, because Stipe's a good dude. He's a fighter's fighter. Mm-hmm. He's blue collar. And you know what, right? Like this whole parade of DC being like this holier than thou has really left a salty taste in my mouth. Now the fact that is another asterisk for me. And I hate that because a part of me was rooting for DC. And I've said to my friend who was watching it with me, I was saying to him that I kind of hope that DC wins because, like I say, he has something over John Jones. Yeah. Like he's done something that this takes him to put him on the plateau where we can go, hey, you can call him a GOAT now. Like he's in the conversation.
Yeah. And
now I'm looking at it and I'm like, this motherfucker, I poked him on a title. Like,
yeah, and I'm gonna want to see what Stipe says about it. I want to see what not necessarily what Dana says. Dana's full of shit, but what Stipe's camp says about it, in my opinion, is gonna be very telling, right? Real quick, Steven in the YouTube comments says, "Leave that WWE shit out of the octagon." What did you think about that? Because you know it was pre-planned. I mean, look, yeah, of course, but you don't go, hey, Brock, let's get your ass in here, and the fucking people aren't gonna just open the door for a massive dude to come in here. That's probably a little pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, did that bother you at all?
I'll say this. 2 things. One, I was more scared for the security guards that were trying to keep Brock Lesnar away from DC. The second thing, how much better would it have been? Granted, this is if buts or maybes, but say if Derek Lewis would have won or Ngannou would have won by knockout, just say one of those guys would have won. How much better would it have been if we'd have had Derek Lewis and fucking Brock Lesnar staring opposite each other and pushing and shoving each other and security guards I'm not for all the carnival and chaos stuff and everything like that, but it's more believable. When I see, you know why I didn't think that anything was going to kick off in that entire melee of what we just saw? DC's kids were in the fucking octagon. He went up and picked up one of the kids. I'm like, the biggest thing with wrestling, and I'm a big wrestling fan, the biggest key to selling something when it comes to pro wrestling is suspension of disbelief.
You didn't have that.
I see all of DC's kids in there. I see his wife in there. You know, I see all of those, and I'm looking. I'm going, what is Brock Lesnar going to pick them up and rip out their hearts? Like, I kind of, it just disappoints me, dude. Like, you know what? Like, this is one of those moments where, like, a lot of people have jumped on this bandwagon of we hated on DC for so long. Now we have to be the anti kind of. We have to defend DC, and it's like, you know what? He just pushes me further away from him.
Yeah,
it pushes me further away from him, and I'm so gutted because if DC had won this clean, I don't think I'd have felt this bad about this. But it just hurts because it's like, fuck. You had that. I had a moment where I could have actually gone credit to DC, and that got took away from me again.
I got you. All right. On the WWE thing, my view is this. It's fucking. It was like as soon as I heard Dion DC go, Brock Lesnar, get your ass in here. I was like, oh, here we go. this is that bullshit. They're gonna do the face off and do all shit. I did not think Brock Lesnar was gonna go in there and like shove him. You know what I mean? Because of what you said, the kids are in, the wife's in there, everything. But when he did it, I was just like, oh my god, security. Fuck it, let him duke it out. DC's a trained fighter. Let him duke it out right there. Fuck in the way. But even Rogan was like in the middle of that whole fucking thing. DC's wrestling, like I guess wrestling coach, the little short guy, fucking tried to jump in there in front of Brock Lesnar. I'm like, dude, get the fuck out of there. What are you doing? Like, it was a trip, dude. But all right, so now we got DC versus Brock Lesnar. If that's not going to be the oddest looking matchup ever, I don't know what is.
Well, the thing is, and I'm gonna kind of break the fourth wall here as far as it's concerned. But anybody who's watched pro wrestling and are quite deep into it, there's stories of Brock Lesnar having real problems with like very technical and very traditional wrestlers, like actual wrestlers, like not pro wrestling. The stories of him getting into altercations whilst in WWE in his early days, and him getting manhandled by guys a third of his size. And bear in mind, this is juiced up out of his mind Brock Lesnar. Like, this is when Brock Lesnar was on the front cover of fucking video games with like 3 heads, like that ridiculousness. And he was getting pinned on airplanes by people like Mr. Perfect. Now think about that. Mr. Perfect is like 240 and Brock Lesnar was like 320, all steroid.
At
like,
least. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not all steroid. And DC has in my opinion, the better wrestling. And I think that if this goes to a ground kind of thing, then I think DC gets the W, and it becomes just a WrestleFest, and he gets the rear naked or some submission, and he gets the win. But if it turns out that Father Time finally comes and gets a hold of DC, we could see a Randy Couture moment.
Yeah, we could. No, and the thing about this is like, yeah, we could. But
that's
I just think,
sad thing to think.
Yeah, it is kind of. Now that I think about it, I'm like, oh shit. The other thing that I know about Brock is he don't like getting punched, and DC shows some hands. Sure, I know eye poke and everything, but he shows that he's got some hands. You know what I mean? In the clinch, mind you. But Brock Lesnar's never had hands and probably never will, even though he's got long ass fucking giant arms and shit. But dude, I'm still trying to absorb this whole thing. All right, real quick, just on the co-main event, we could just not even talk about it because they didn't even do a post-fight interview on that. That was how bad that was.
That was fucking hilarious. Joe Rogan must have sat there like, I'm not going in there.
Yeah, like, I go in there. I'm like, for what? To find out, to ask him what the fuck wrong with you? Like, I'm seriously, I'm sure the Johan Ahmed says so rigged. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same, but I'm not throwing it out there. So.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna watch the post-fight press conference in a little bit, and just to see Stipe, DC, and I look if you see someone, they're bringing Brock Lesnar up there, but he probably won't do it. And I want to see what Dana White says about the eye pokes and stuff like that. But other fights on there, Mike Perry, Paul Felder fighting with a broken arm was insane.
He's gangster as fuck. Like, he fought 170, bro. Like, he's down for whatever. Like, I had so much respect for him, and both of them were bleeding from the outset. So, like, those guys went to war. So
yeah, and I'm not a big fan of Mike Perry's persona, but I had to give him some. Yeah. But he fought. He fought. Look, man. What did he say? He's like, I'm 2% African, so I can say the N-word now. Like, bro, no, you can't. What are you doing?
Yeah, but we're all like 0.01% African. It doesn't mean shit. Like,
it doesn't mean anything.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. But I gotta hand it to him. He fought. He didn't fight like a brawler from the get-go. He fought smart for the most part. So
I think the most impressive person on the card for me was Costa.
Paulo Costa. I like Paulo Costa. Yeah, for sure. I like Anthony Pettis. Michael Chiesa getting caught.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah, the transition was beautiful.
Oh, it was fucking clean. It was clean. And Chiesa's a high level jiu-jitsu guy. He didn't even. It's like he didn't see it coming. Roundtree knocks out Gokensaki with that fucking straight. I think it was a straight left, or straight right.
It was the straight right, wasn't it?
Yeah. He just drops him. Game over. That was a little surprising for me. But yeah, dude, Paulo Costa. Every time, so Hall had the jab, right? Was like the one thing he had working for him. If he stayed at distance, it was jab, and Paulo Costa couldn't even get close. His mouth was bleeding already. It was when he cornered Hall or pinned Hall to the cage. You saw the steel punches coming. You heard the pop. Like, this fight's gonna end quick, and it ended devastatingly.
The key thing that I was watching that fight, my friend was saying to me that jab was ripping him apart, and like you said, he bust him up, and the jab was working ridiculously. The key thing for me is that Costa started going to the body on Hall. As soon as you started ripping the body, as soon as you start losing your stamina, you're losing your air. That jab, it starts to slow down, and obviously that gives you more of a chance to cut in. If I would have been Hall, the thing is for me is I would have feinted the cross after that wicked jab and try and gone to the body with the kick. Now, I know it leaves yourself a little bit open, but the thing is we've seen that Costa slowed down in that second round. We saw that. Now, I feel if he'd have invested a little bit into the body, and I know that he did hit him in the body once or twice and Costa brushed it off, because he's going to, he's ripped, he's chiseled, it looks like an Adonis, like what we're dealing with here. It's like, it looks like he could be a heavyweight. Like, it's ridiculous size of him. Like, it's ungodly. But the thing is, for me, is investing that little bit and then trying to get into the later rounds. I feel that there's an opening for somebody to potentially expose Costa.
No, I'm with you on that, dude.
That jab was there all day, and we saw Costa slow down in the second round. The only thing that cost Hall was he lost his gas from getting ripped to the body. So it's something that we can see. A better kind of strategist might implement that. Hall's one of those if and buts kind of guys. He should be the champion by now. He should have been this. He should have been that. He shows glimpses of it, and then he fades off. And nothing to take away from Costa, because Costa looked amazing in that fight. And it kind of reminded me, with the way that he throws so much intent, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Wanderlei back in the day, where he just throws those wicked hooks, and you literally just see the body of the opponent just flying.
Breaking. Yeah.
So that was a cool.
That was crazy. Just real quick notes on the rest of the fights. And Sunshine wins by decision. I think Drakkar Klose won by decision. Melender won. Did Melender finish? He finished Griffin, right? Remember?
Yeah. No.
Let's see.
I thought they went to decision, didn't
they? Yeah, I think you're right. Anyway, Dan Hooker finishes Gilbert Burns. Nasty. That was fucking impressive. And then, and then the first fight happened.
Did you hear what he said afterwards in the media behind?
No.
You know why Dan Hooker was so annoyed and like he was so angry in the post fight? He looked a little bit pissed off about something.
Right.
Apparently, he said in the media scrum afterwards when he spoke to some of the guys in the back, he said that the reason why he was so pissed off is it was too easy.
Oh God! Oh my God! Really? That guy's so good.
He was one of the writers from Sports Illustrated was there, and he tweeted it out, and he was saying that I can't remember the name of the guy, unfortunately, but apparently he was pissed off because he felt that it was too easy, and he expected more from Burns.
For sure, give him a fucking top 10. He asked for it. Give him a top 10. Give him top 5. Fuck it.
You know what? Right? Can we please, like, if we're a UFC fighter now, right? Can we please just call somebody out? Like, please.
Yeah, I've become a fan of someone having a name ready. I'm tired of all this. I'll fight whoever's next. Now, dude, say a name. Say a name.
The worst thing about saying I'll fight anybody is the UFC go, I'll throw on somebody. They don't really care.
Yeah, they don't really care.
It shows your intent, and fucking hell. Yeah. I've got a question for you as well, though. To go back to the Cormier thing real quick. If you're John Jones, what are you thinking right now about everything that you're seeing? We'll start with how John Jones looks at Stipe, followed by DC, and then by the Brock thing.
Okay. All right. So we want to talk about John Jones. Let's check his Twitter first of all.
Yeah. How feel? How do you think he feels about Stipe? How does do you think that he thinks he's taking him? Like, what do you think about that? First off.
All right. Well, first of all, John Jones hasn't tweeted shit since last month. So, but if you're John Jones sitting there watching DC be the champ, part of you has to be like, fuck. If I had not fucked up, that should have been me. Because he called out Brock Lesnar, right after he knocked out DC. Right? Another guy that you head kick KO'd and you fucked up because you were on whatever the fuck you were on, whether by accident or on purpose. Now that guy that you knocked out is the champ. And you're sitting at home just with your hand, your dick in your hand. Like, that's kind of what he's doing. As far as what he's and that's probably part of what he's thinking. What he's more dominantly thinking is probably like, I'm still John Jones, I'm still the GOAT, I'm still better. I knocked him out. I'll get that later. He has this weird feeling about him, like he thinks he's gonna get there anyway. You know what I mean?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That he thinks he's gonna get there anyway? I mean, I don't know. It's an arrogant thing, but I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. He should definitely
arrogance carries you.
Huh?
Arrogance carries you.
It can. Yeah. No, you're right. Look, it's possible, right? Let's see, he comes back. For sure, call out DC for the light heavyweight title, which he's gonna drop. Don't worry. But for sure, become light heavyweight champion again, and then challenge for the heavyweight champion. But I mean, if you're John Jones, would you try to one up DC somehow?
Like, if I'm John Jones, I go straight for the heavyweight. I don't because at this point, what does it even mean to win that light heavyweight title for him? Do you know what I'm saying? But if he wins it, who's he going to fight? Gustafsson. If he beats Gustafsson, he's already beaten Gustafsson. I know he wanted that fight, and I know he had a game plan and everything like that. But the fact is, he can't fight Rumble. He's already beat Gustafsson, and at this point, who really cares about that fight per se? It just kind of seems pointless to me. In my honest opinion, I think DC never defends that light heavyweight title again. Mm-hmm. I think it ends up being whoever wins between Gustafsson and Ostovich.
Yeah. No, Ostovich. Ozdemir.
Ozdemir, sorry.
Is he fighting Ozdemir?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that they're having a fight. So whoever wins that, he'll end up fighting either them or Luke Rockhold will end up fighting them. So you're going to end up fighting one of those dudes. Who really gives a fuck about all that bullshit? Yeah. Get back up to the heavyweight division. You've got fucking about 18 months or however fucking long he's going to end up getting suspended for, even if he does get his license back. Fuck it, go to heavyweight. Just go straight to heavyweight. Start doing your powerlifting again with your chicken legs, and let's just fight at heavyweight. There's so much more interesting fights.
Yeah.
And then you can try and get that heavyweight title, whether it be from DC, whether it be from Brock, maybe even Steve or whoever comes along the way.
Yeah, real quick, I'm looking at Michelle Waterson's Instagram story, and she's sitting next to Kevin Lee and a bunch of other UFC fighters, and everyone, nobody believes what they just saw, as far as DC winning the fight.
Do you think it was fixed? I'm going to throw it to you.
Ooh, dude. I don't think it's fixed. I don't think it was fixed. I'll give you the eye pokes than that it was fixed.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You know what I thought was kind of fucked up? The Ngannou Lewis fight being that bad. I was like, I honestly went Eddie Bravo on this shit. I was just like, you think maybe Francis is throwing the fight a little bit?
I'm gonna just pose this out there for the people because I'm not trying to defend what we saw in that co-main event. But can we please just put some respect on the fact that, yes, we want to see fighters fight, but you're talking about two of the most fucking, the biggest dudes and two of the, arguably the most powerful strikers in the UFC, pound for pound. I think we can all agree they're probably in the top 5 right now that are active.
Yeah.
One false move and either one of these guys could turn each other's lights out. You're going to be a bit hesitant. Obviously I want to see somebody, fight. I don't want to see him, dancing around and nobody throwing, 20 strikes between them in, 3 rounds. But can we please put a little bit of respect on the fact that these guys are literally that big that if one of them hit me or you, we would be picking up body parts of wherever they hit us.
Oh, easily.
So, for all the people who were booing and shit, fuck you, you jump in the ring and fucking try and fight one of these motherfuckers.
The booing bothered me, but it was just, I think it was just so bizarre. I didn't know what to think. I was like, God damn, what the fuck is going on? I mean, this is the most feared striker in recent heavyweight history or memory against Derek Lewis, who normally isn't afraid of shit. Derek Lewis was throwing switch kicks, bro. He was throwing switch kicks. He was that afraid of getting punched. He was that afraid of getting punched that he wanted to keep distance with throwing switch kicks.
Yeah,
That's how I. Yeah, but that's yeah.
Let's just throw that out there, my guy.
Yeah. So anyway.
that's like you, right? Right. Imagine this. So you're in training, right? Like, you know what I mean? This is like you going, you know what? I'm feeling like a beast. I'm feeling like a motherfucking assassin right now. I'm gonna fucking double leg somebody, and I'm gonna fucking Matt Hughes them. I'm gonna carry him. I'm gonna. You know what I mean? Like, is that complete error? You pick them up, you slam them down, and then you go, "Oh, my back!" Like that's what that is to me.
Yeah. No, he's always had back issues, so that kind of sucks.
I know. He's a big dude, and I appreciate that. But like I said, you know, I feel a little bit sorry for him because it's like at the end of the day, you know, these guys could have turned each other's lights out real quick, and it's a shame. And
if you look at both of them, the one that tried the most was Lewis. So it's I mean, he won, so I guess he gets a W, but kind of a lame way. Even he looked kind of pissed off.
My heavyweight champion.
Yeah, not my goat. That's what it says. All right. Steven says, so Cormier defeats Lesnar via eye pokes. Your thoughts?
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Jeremiah, what up, Jeremiah from the Hardcore MMA show says, I poked right before he threw the punch. He threw the punch, and then he says, you know, John is pissed that they was making the Jones Lesnar fight before he pissed hot. That's a good point.
Facts. Like the weird thing is though is again we're breaking the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
But WWE actually tweeted that Brock Lesnar was cage side during that fight.
Yeah.
WWE tweeted about it, but if you've ever, I don't know if anybody, like if you follow it or some people do or are watching this right now, follow the WWE channel. They don't usually tend to tweet about people that are their athletes. You know what I mean? They're performers at these UFC events. When CM Punk used to go to all the events, like before he competed, they never used to tweet about him. When Becky Lynch has been there, they never tweeted about it. Do you know what I mean? There's loads of people that have been there to shows and they've never tweeted about it. So I found it really, really weird that WWE tweeting about it because allegedly Brock Lesnar's contract is supposed to be up by the end of August with WWE, which is weird because I know he's the champion in WWE. So it's like, why would you advertise him being there when he could potentially be going in November to fight and leave your company? Like what play is there?
There's probably a deal already on the table for Lesnar to come back as soon as he gets his one fight.
I don't know, man, because you'd like to get that extension signed before you start promoting, wouldn't you?
True, good point. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. I'm so digesting what the fuck happened in that main event. So it's such a trip. All right, man. Because I know you've been up for 24 hours, you gotta go and everything. But your thoughts on 226 as a whole?
I'd say it's like a 7.5, maybe maybe a push, an 8. Like I enjoyed the card. Like I did enjoy the card. You know, my biggest disappointment, and it was always going to take off 2 fucking points off the entire thing, is that we didn't get to see T-City and Blessed. Like,
that got me so bad when Max Holloway dropped out. That's the fight I was more excited for. I thought
that was my main event. That was my super fight.
Yep.
Fuck all you guys.
Yep, dude. Yep. I was excited as fuck to see. Fucking, do you see T-City in the open workouts throw a flying triangle? I was like, oh shit! I hope he tries that in the fight. And then Max Holloway. Now, hey, fair enough, dude. Like fucking Max Holloway's health, number one, definitely. Fucking, I'm glad that they fucking caught that. I'm glad they didn't let him fight like that. And I'm hoping that they find out what the fuck's happening. You know what's up with him, and then they, he's able to come back. But man, I was fucked up when we lost that fight. I was like, God damn.
And for all the people who said that fucking T-City should have took an interim title fight, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
He's the number 1 contender. Like he beat. Why the fuck does he have to face him again for a fake belt? Like, that's stupid.
No,
just because you want to see T-City fight, shut up. Like, come on. Like the main thing is, like you said, Blessed is getting taken care of. Max is getting looked after. We should care more about these fucking fighters, especially a fucking straight up savage like fucking Max is, who's willing to fight at 155 against Khabib on short notice. Yep. So, like, let's put some respect on fucking Max's name and put some respect on T-City as well, because these 2 guys are going to put on one of the best fights that we're going to see in this generation, in my opinion. That's one of my fights that I think that's going to be one of the best fights that we're going to see out of this decade. So from like 10 to 20, that's easy for me.
Yeah, I low key hope they throw that Holloway Ortega fight on the co-main of Khabib McGregor. I really do. To me, that'd be like, whoo, super stacked.
Just to throw on the back end of that, you know, fucking credit to Khabib and credit to Conor for showing respect to Max as well for taking care of him.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, especially at a McGregor's camp. Like he does once in a while, but not like that. Especially not against someone he's fought already. He usually goes, "Yeah, I've been knocked him out already," and he's like, "Hey, take care and get better." Whatever.
The real thing that I liked that he did as well, he didn't even tag Max. A lot of people was like, "Why did you tag him? Like, if you wanted to show respect, why not tag him?" And I'm like, "Why would you? Why like?" I think it's more important to say it and not tag them. So it's like, you know, like when people are having an argument over people, like when, like, say if me and you were disagreeing,
at him, bro,
and then like, why don't you at him? Yeah, it's like it's stupid. Like just show you respect and it's cool.
Yeah. So, for me, this was a pretty solid 8 in my opinion. Just in the main card finishes, other than the fucking co-main. I love the Costa fight. That was crazy. I love the Dan Hooker fight. The Banana close fight was fun as shit too. That was a fun little chess match to watch. So that was cool. So that was a pretty solid 8. So yeah. All right. Anything else you want to throw out there?
No, man. I just, like I say, I just think that like sometimes we get a little spoiled with fights, and it's just like this whole craziness at the end kind of had a little bit of a salty like taste in my mouth. But at the end of the day, you know what, right? Like I'm happy in the sense for DC, but for me, if I'm him, I kind of feel like if he wants to do the right thing, he fights Stipe. He's not going to. He's obviously going to go for that money fight with Brock. And if he sleeps well at night with that, cool. But if that was him, he got the same done to him, he'd be demanding that back. And you know what? Like, shout out to Stipe for, you know, not interrupting that bullshit with fucking Brock Lesnar. Because imagine if he'd just grabbed hold of Brock Lesnar by the back of the head and just fucking cracked him. Walked over to DC and cracked him. And then there's fucking 2 guys laid out and there's Stipe holding the belt up. That's the way that it should have ended.
That was some WWE shit right there. That was some Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Stipe was Tommy Toho does that.
Stone Cold Stipe Miocic, yo.
Yeah. I think Tommy Toho does that character. Stone Cold Stipe. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for us tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for coming on. I know you've been up for a long time. Appreciate it. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Represent, repthewarriors.com. Get yourself some shit. SpicyPros.com. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Keyboard Warriors are off for the rest of the month. I'm going to be out of town, and I got things going on. So hopefully we'll be back in August, probably mid-August or so, and shooting the shit with you guys again. I'll be on Twitter. Well, I'll be on Twitter, whatever. And if some crazy shit happens, of course we're going to jump on and talk about it. All right, but it's got to be crazy. Like fucking like Gabby Garcia's fighting Brock Lesnar. Huh?
Like DC pissed hot.
Oh, shit. We'll talk about that if that happens. He pissed hot for eye pokes. All right, folks. Y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy yourselves, and good night, Wilshire.